I'll admit it. This isn't the kind of story you tell just anyone. Hell, I've never told anyone before. But I guess when you've gone through something so strange, so surreal, there's a part of you that wants to finally let it out. And maybe, just maybe, I can do that now. The truth is, I wasn't alone that day. There were two of us. Me and my best friend at the time, Anna. Anna and I had been close since high school. We weren't like other girls. At least that's what we told ourselves. We were different. We weren't afraid to talk about things that other people wouldn't dare mention. There was a thrill in pushing boundaries, in exploring things that others would never understand. That's what we bonded over. The shared feeling that we weren't afraid to step over lines. At 22, we were both back home after college hadn't worked out. Life felt pretty aimless, to be honest. It was summer, and we spent most days drinking beers in my backyard, talking about nothing in particular, or the stupid things we used to do when we were younger. We were stuck in a small town, stuck with the same people, the same routines, the same everything. It was suffocating. We both knew it. And maybe that's why we kept finding ways to escape. That day started off just like any other. My parents were out of town for the weekend, and Anna had come over to keep me company. We'd grabbed a couple of beers from the fridge and headed out to the backyard. Max, my family's German shepherd, trotted along beside us, like always. He was a big, lovable brute of a dog, the only real companion I had in that house. He was always around, always there, and after all these years, he was practically part of the family. Anna and I lay out on the grass, the sun beating down on us, making the afternoon feel slow and hazy. We sipped our beers and talked about everything and nothing at once. The conversation drifted, as it always did, to the darker, more taboo topics that seemed to keep us entertained. Anna liked to joke about all the things she wanted to try. The things that normal people would find disgusting, or shocking, or just flat out wrong. She liked shocking me, and I loved playing along. "Have you ever thought about doing something really ducked up?" Anna asked, rolling onto her side to face me. There was a smirk on her lips, one I'd seen 100 times before. She always started conversations like this when she was bored, always pushing to see how far we could go. I shrugged, taking a sip from my beer. "Like what?" She raised an eyebrow, then tilted her head toward Max, who was lying a few feet away, panting lazily in the summer heat. "Like him." I laughed at first. It was the kind of joke Anna would make when she was looking to get a rise out of me. But when I looked back at her, there was something different in her eyes. She wasn't just joking. The idea had taken root in her mind, and now she was pushing it, testing me to see if I'd follow along. "Are you serious?" I asked, half expecting her to laugh it off and say she wasn't. But she didn't. Anna just grinned at me, and that grin told me everything I needed to know. She was serious, and she wanted to see how far we could take this. The weird thing was, I didn't feel disgusted by the idea. I should have. I knew that. Any normal person would have. But something about the suggestion, about the audacity of it, made me feel curious. I didn't stop her when she got up and walked over to Max. I didn't stop her when she knelt down beside him, her hands running through his fur in that slow, suggestive way she had. And I didn't stop her when she looked back at me with that challenging, teasing expression that said, "Are you in? Or not?" I was. It started out almost like a game, something neither of us really expected to go anywhere. Anna began petting Max, whispering to him in that soothing voice she used when she was trying to get someone to relax. Max, for his part, just lay there, wagging his tail, happy for the attention. But as Anna's hands moved, I could see the change in him. He responded in a way I hadn't expected, his body shifting, his tail wagging more intensely. "See?" she said, her voice low and excited. "He likes it." I felt a knot of tension in my stomach, a strange mix of excitement and fear. This was wrong, so wrong. But I didn't say anything. I watched as Anna kept going, and then, before I could stop myself, I was moving too. I knelt down beside her, my hands joining hers on Max's fur, feeling the warmth of his body, the steady rise and fall of his chest. At that point, I wasn't thinking. I was running on instinct, on the strange thrill of the moment, on the need to feel something different. The line had already been crossed, and now there was no turning back. Max responded eagerly to both of us. He was moving now, his body pressing against us, and I could feel the heat building between us. Anna looked over at me, her eyes wide with excitement, her breath coming faster. She was into it, completely lost in the moment, and I realized with a start that I was too. It wasn't long before things escalated. Anna was the first to take it further. She positioned herself in front of Max, and I helped for Max. It was almost hypnotic. I should have felt disgusted. I should have stopped. But I didn't. I watched, transfixed, as she gave herself over to it completely. And then it was my turn. Anna pulled away after a few minutes, breathless, her cheeks flushed with excitement. She looked at me, her eyes glittering with a kind of wildness I'd never seen in her before. Without saying a word, she nodded toward Max. I hesitated for only a moment. Then I did the same, my mind screaming at me to stop, but my body betraying me at every turn. I closed my eyes, letting the felling take over as I surrendered to the moment. It was unlike anything I had ever felt before. The fun came in waves, intense and primal, and I lost myself in it completely. There was no shame, no guilt, everything growing stronger with every second. When it finally hit, it was like a tidal wave crashing over me. I cried out, my fingers digging into the carpet. It was overwhelming, powerful, and all-consuming. I had never experienced anything like it before, and I knew even in that moment that I would never forget it. Afterward, I collapsed. Anna was lying beside me, her own chest rising and falling as she tried to catch her breath. Max wagged his tail and licked our faces as if nothing unusual had happened. For a long time, we just lay there in silence, the weight of what we'd done pressing down on us. I didn't know what to say, and I could tell from the look on Anna's face that she didn't either. The thrill, the excitement, the pleasure. It was all still there. But now so was the guilt, the shame, the realization that we had crossed a line we could never uncross. Anna was the first to speak. "That was something," she said, her voice shaky. I nodded, unable to find the words to respond. It was something, all right. Something I couldn't fully comprehend, even now. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Anna left soon after, and I spent the rest of the evening trying to make sense of what had happened, but I couldn't. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't shake the memory of Max's body against mine, the pleasure I had felt, the way I had completely lost control. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying the events over and over in my mind. I wanted to feel disgusted, wanted to feel ashamed. But the truth was, part of me didn't regret it. Part of me wanted to feel that way again. I guess that's the real secret, The one I'll never admit to anyone. Not even Anna. Because no matter how ducked up it is, no matter how wrong it felt, it was also the best thing I'd ever experienced. Hey everyone! If you found this story gripping and want to hear more like this one, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping tales every week. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. If you have your own wild stories to share or ideas you'd like us to bring to life, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.